If you are struggling to work out what to do with all of the experiences that you've had in childhood and all of the ways that that's getting in the way of you living your human design, this video is for you. I had a question from a student a couple of weeks ago who shared about some of the challenges in her childhood and her family lineage and how it was really getting in the way for her of being able to live into her design. So I'm going to read basically the essence of her question. I've tweaked it a little bit to make it a little bit more user-friendly in this format. And then I'm going to give you the answer that I would give her. What happens when you grow up in a household where the prime directive is to dominate and teach children who they are supposed to be, as opposed to letting them come into their own naturally? Both of my parents were rageaholics, so I had to be on the lookout for signs of explosion all the time. My parents were too young to have a pet rock between them, let alone a baby. It's clear to me that their dysfunction and rage was and is a direct result of the institution of slavery here in the US. I've done so much work around this already, and now I can forgive so much. Life was so much harder for my parents and grandparents and great-grandparents and all of my family before them. And without a lot of education or anyone more sentient to light the way, they lived and interacted the way they were forced to live. Of course, they passed it on to future generations, because how could they not? What I experienced in my childhood was a lot of rage from my parents. And as a result, I got really, really good at reading people and feeling other people's energy. So my question is, what happens when your learned or conditioned responses meet human design? Like, how is one supposed to interact with the world? Lifelong surviving skills cannot be unlearned, can they? So how do we handle this? First, I want to acknowledge you watching this video. If you, like this student, had a really, really challenging childhood and or came from a family lineage of a lot of challenge, a lot of struggle, a lot of suffering for any reason. And this is a really, really important topic, because there is so much stuff online about just live your design, and here, just follow type strategy, inner authority, just follow your strategy and inner authority and you'll be sweet. Except it's not actually that easy. It's simple, but it's not that easy, because if going to follow your strategy and inner authority according to your human design type means that you butt up against every learned survival skill, your survival skills are going to win. Your body has been so well conditioned to do the patterns of behavior that will allow you to survive, that you're not going to beat that through strong thinking or strong willpower. You might be able to tweak it tiny little bits over time, but to make any meaningful progress in a reasonable amount of time, you have to, as this student isn't quite sure about yet, is you have to unlearn those safety and coping mechanisms and replace them with healthier behaviors, healthier, more empowered, more appropriate for your life today behaviors, beliefs, ways of being. It's essential. So what happens when the powerful force of everything that you've been up to this point meets your human design chart? The powerful force of everything you've been will win. You could go the rest of your life and not live out your design, right? There's aspects of it that will live out anyway, right? There's aspects of it that are playing in the background, and as you get to know your chart more, which I highly recommend, because that in itself will help, the more you can better understand yourself through the lens of your chart, the more you'll be able to see, oh, actually, I already do that, or I play out this energy in this particular way. Okay, now I know. So aspects of it will play out, but anywhere that your chart disagrees with your coping survival strategies and everything that has been passed down through multiple generations, your conditioning will win. Until You use a tool like I use with my clients, trauma-informed tapping, or any other tool that you like. There are lots of ways to do this. If you don't like tapping, or you already have a way to be able to do this through movement practices, through a combination of, basically it's got to be a safe, gentle, effective way to become aware of the patterns and then safely and slowly allow the body to do something different. Your human design chart and understanding it well will help you understand what are the correct and healthy ways for you to move forward. Understanding your strategy really well for your type and understanding how your inner authority works in theory will give you the guidepost, will be like your mini operating manual to go, okay, when I want to change this behavior because I know it's not serving me, this is what I'm aiming for. Okay. So the most important thing you need to do is realize all of us are a combination of nature, as shown by our human design chart, and nurture, which is everything good, bad, and ugly that allowed you to cope and survive up until this point in time. And when they come together, while aspects of your nature are always playing out, if there is a fight between the two, your nurture is going to win because it is designed to keep you safe. And safety, if you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, safety is a higher priority, as in it's a foundational piece. You cannot get to self-actualization of the top of that pyramid, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You can Google it if you haven't seen it before. You have to nail these lower levels that are the foundation. You have to feel safe for you to ever get close to the self-actualization that's possible through living out the power and the beauty of your unique human design. Okay, so I hope that helps. Action steps from here. If you do not already have a way, and you'll probably know, like, pause for a moment and just think to yourself, do I have a way that I have been able to genuinely, effectively shift my own patterns of behavior that have worked? Gentle ways. It's probably some kind of practice you can do pretty much every day, right? That slowly unwinds those unhealthy patterns. If you don't have a way to do that, then I want to encourage you to look at learning trauma-informed tapping with me. My business model is such that I am not asking you to do multiple sessions with me. It's not cost effective for most people. My business model is such that you can come and do a single session with me, learn how to do it, and then go away and practice in your own life. And if you need more tweaking, you can come back to me and we can tweak and you can continue to go on your way, because you have to layer this in. It has to be a little bit every day over time, because that's how the nervous system changes. Okay, so there will be information about how to do that work with me below this video. Below every one of my YouTube videos, there is always going to be links to more resources, so you can always click and look in the description below each video to be able to get more support from me and more suggestions for how you can move forward and live into the power and beauty of your human design.